Great seeing you here again. My name is Ludwig Koester, founder of the Koester Academy. And in this video, I want to talk about the precision of the estimates we deal with. It's something I encounter when people are talking about estimations and we are asked to give a number. It can be very frustrating to see what's happening, and we may be seduced to give a too optimistic estimate without knowing all the different parameters. And I think it's important to understand how we can, in fact, improve the estimation and share the validity of it with our stakeholders, with the customer, with our management. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Let's have a look at the problem at hand. We have a project, or people talk to us, they want to have some information, and typically the situation is referred to in some cases by the water cooler or the coffee automat estimates. Water cooler is more used in US. In Europe we have more the coffee machine, but basically the principle is the same. Just imagine you're there having a coffee or a glass of water, and your manager is coming by, or a customer, and they ask to you about some project. First they start saying how good you are, all the good things you did, and they want your advice, they want your estimate for a new project or a partial project. From the moment they start saying all these things, how good you are, you have to be aware that they want something from me. And it's very important to consider what's happening, to listen what they are saying, and you should never give a number. Even when they say, okay, with just a number, it's just an indication, don't ever forget, once you mention a number, that number is fixed in the mind of the people, and they will never forget it. You will get answers, yeah, but you said this or you said that. So the best way to deal with this is to have a look at the problem at hand and see what information you have. I had an example like that. My boss was talking to me how good I did a project, and he wanted to know my advice. He wanted to have an estimate for a special situation, a connection from one side to the network of the customer. And I didn't give him an answer. I just went to my office. I looked around, I made some assumptions, and I wrote down the assumption, and I said the estimate is so much, rough order of magnitude. I wrote there ROM. And we were in an ICT company, so for those people, ROM means read-only memory. So my boss was a little bit confused, and he asked me, what the hell is ROM? I said, oh, this rough order of magnitude. In addition to that, he said, but what does it mean? I told him that with the information I have, a rough order of magnitude estimate means that the estimate can be 25% cheaper, but also 75% more expensive. We're talking at the top level of the work breakdown structure. We don't have a lot of information. And the element that we have to consider is that the precision that we can give depends on the level of decomposition of the work breakdown structure. The further we decompose, the higher the precision will be. And typically when we go to the lowest level of the WBS, when we have all the activities, we have the completed plan, we should arrive at a final estimate which has a precision of plus minus 10%. That's a standard that is used in a lot of companies. It may be different in your company. You can define these estimates depending on the levels of decomposition of the project. Anyway, an example we also had was in a construction agency, a price per square meter for building a new building, for renovating electricity or heating. Those were high-level estimates because we didn't exactly know what was going to happen. People said, okay, we will build a kind of building, we say for that type of building, the typical estimate is so many euros per square meter. It's a very rough order of magnitude of the estimate because we don't know what will be inside. You want to have normal floors, you want to have very high quality floors, high quality equipment, elements in gold and things like that. You don't know all the needs at this moment. Of course, you can already have some conversation with the customer, which will be taken into account to create that rough order of magnitude estimate. A company that is involved in project management should set up a list with those estimates. What do they mean? What does a rough order of magnitude mean? It can be minus 50 to plus 100. It depends on the methods that or the methodology that the company has defined. You can find them also in the standing operating procedures or SOPs. As a company, you have to foresee that everybody understands what you're talking about. Implementing or including all these ways to estimate the levels of estimation linking to the decomposition of the work breakdown structure is a very important element that will help everybody to understand exactly what everybody is talking about. Estimation is very important, and we have to understand that once you give a number, it's very important to understand that it's very difficult to bring that number higher. And it's also very difficult to have, in fact, discussions about that number. People will not forget the number. The same thing with the timing. These are elements that you have to be careful about. Anyway, that was it about rough order of magnitude, the precision of estimation of project cost. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next videos. Bye bye.